Hey everyone, welcome back to PM Tech Solution. In today's video, we are diving into one of the most important foundations of Tailwind CSS, utility classes and colors. If you understand this lesson properly, you'll be able to design any layout or style in Tailwind without writing a single line of CSS. Let's get started. Before doing any styling, we'll need a folder where our Tailwind CSS are going to be located. You right click on any free place, you go to new, then in the new you click on folder and name it Tailwind. So next thing to do is to drag and drop our folder into our VS Code. So let's drag and drop our Tailwind folder inside our VS Code. So we are going to drag and drop it right now. So we drag and drop it inside here. So let's create our HTML file and our CSS file that we'll use for comparison. So we'll create our index.html file. Then after that, we'll create our style.css that we'll use for comparison. Then we're going to write our HTML boilerplate. So we'll write our HTML boilerplate with a title of Tailwind Utilities. Alright, so this is how we're going to be doing. So now we'll need to link our CSS file. So let's link our CSS file and go to our browser. The next thing I did was link Tailwind using CDN. You can get this link directly from the official Tailwind CSS website. Just go to tailwind.css.com, enter doc, installation, then the Play CDN. The Play CDN version is the simplest way to start experimenting with Tailwind. It doesn't require installation or setup like Vite or Post CSS. And I pasted the CDN link in the head of our HTML. Then I gave the header a light gray background using the BG gray 100, and I added padding around everything using the B10. In Tailwind, the naming is really simple. BG means background, P means padding, and the number represents spacing scales. Let's check if our styling works. So yes, our Tailwind is working perfectly. Now, before we start styling, let's talk about what utility classes really mean. In normal CSS, you usually write selectors like .container, background red, padding 20 pixels. But in Tailwind, instead of writing that separately, we use small reusable classes directly in our HTML. Each class name does one specific job, like BG gray 100 for background color or text center for text alignment. So instead of creating a lot of CSS files, you just combine the utilities you need. It's fast, easy to understand, and helps you build modern UI very quickly. Here, I'm creating a heading to introduce the topic. Text for Excel controls the font size. The larger the number, the bigger the text. Font bold makes it bold. Text center centers it horizontally, and text blue 600 adds a nice deep blue color. Finally, MB6 adds some margin at the bottom so it doesn't stick too close to the next section. Now, let's explore text color. Tailwind uses a color palette that's already built in. Each color comes from different shades ranging from 50 to 900, where 50 is the lightest and 900 is the darkest. So when I use text red 500, it gives me a medium red. Text green 500 gives me a medium green, and so on. You can find all the color options in the Tailwind documentation under colors, and all these classes are utility classes. They describe exactly what they do. Text color section. This div acts like a card or container. P6 means padding all around inside spacing. BG white gives it a white background. Shadow MD adds a medium shadow so it pops off the background. Rounded LG makes the corner slightly curved. MB6 creates a little space below it for separation from the next card. Inside that card, we have a smaller heading. Text 2XL makes the font size smaller than the main heading. Font semi-bold makes the text medium bold. MB4 adds margin below it. Text gray 800 gives a dark gray color for contrast against the white background. These lines shows how simple Tailwind makes color styling. Text red 500 makes text red with medium brightness. Text green 500 gives the green text. Text blue 500 blue text. Text gray 600 medium gray text. Notice that each color name is followed by a number like 500 or 600. That number controls how dark or light the color appears. Background color section. This is another white container with padding, shadow, rounded corner and bottom margin, exactly like before. This is how our section title for background color, same styling as the previous heading. Each of these divs has background red 400, gives a lighter red background, text white, makes the text inside white so it's readable. P3 padding around the content. MB2 small space between each box, rounded, slightly curved corner, and the same pattern continues for green, blue and gray background. Border color section. Our last container again has padding, white background, shadow and rounded corners. This heading introduces our border color examples. Each div here shows how border color works. Border 4 means the border thickness is 4 pixels. Border red 500 gives it a red border. P3 adds padding inside so the text doesn't touch the border. MB2 adds space between each boxes. Rounded smooth corners. The same pattern repeats for green, blue and gray. We've used Tailwind Utility Class to add text, colors, background colors and borders all directly in HTML, no CSS file at all. That's the power of Tailwind. You design while you code. The idea of utility classes in Tailwind comes from a design principle called atomic CSS. Each class performs a single function and you build your layout by combining them. This makes your code consistent, unpredictable, and much easier to maintain, especially in large projects. You are not jumping between HTML and CSS files anymore. Everything you need is right where you are working. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notification, because in the next video we will dive into spacing in Tailwind. We will learn how margin, padding and gap classes work together to control layout perfectly. I'll see you in the next one.